to the next presenter. Emma.
Brilliant, thanks Jo. Yeah, next up we have Ali Foxon, who runs Boggy Doodles. So she is an artist, geographer, and now founder of her own business, which aims to promote green sketching as an innovative tool for nature connection and well-being. So off you go, Ali.
Hear me?
Yes,
you hear and see me?
We've got a blank screen at the moment. We did have your slide just a minute ago.
See me now?
It's the slide. So
Can you see my slide?
You are sharing your screen, but we've got a blank screen at the moment.
Oh.
We did see the slide at the start.
I don't know.
It was working then. So if you unshare, then maybe share again. I don't know if that would help. Try that again. Yes,
can you see that?
Yes, we can. Great, thank you.
Right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about green sketching, which is a novel tool for communication and engaging multiple audiences with the natural environment. Before I start talking about sketching, though, I need to just pause.
Hi, it's Keith. I did leave a message on your mobile, I think, saying that when I tried to do the bank transfer, I got a message that the account's name, which I'd used in.
Shall I carry on talking? Yes,
sorry. Thank you.
It's all right, it's okay. Before I talk about sketching, I need to just pause and explain that although I'm currently an artist, I started off as a geographer, and I spent the earlier part of my career working with a wide range of organisations as a researcher, as a climate change advisor, a scientific editor. All of these things had one thing in common, that I spent a lot of time in meeting rooms and staring at a laptop. And it was following the birth of my son that I took a bit of a career break and stumbled across sketching as a tool really for relaxation at the time. But I quickly realised it had much more potential as a tool for nature connection as well, and that the process of sitting and sketching just opened your eyes to the environment in a completely new way. It helped you relax and it helped you see things so much more clearly. About the same time, I discovered the research from the Nature Connectedness group at the University of Derby, led by Miles Richardson, that was talking about the different pathways to nature connection and the importance of beauty and wonder and meaning and emotion for changing people's relationship with nature, rather than just the traditional facts and figures, which I spent the bulk of my career focused on. So this led me to realise that there was a huge potential with sketching to help far more people reconnect with nature, but there were barriers, because I'm guessing amongst the audience here, most people don't think that they can sketch. Most people think drawing is something that's the preserve of a few artistic lucky ones. So I thought I needed to come up with a new way of making sketching much more accessible, to remove the barriers of sort of a lack of confidence, the assumption that you needed to know, to have loads of time, the assumption that you needed to know exactly what you were sketching. So I came up with this new approach called green sketching. And it's really a blend of urban sketching, mindful drawing, botanical drawing, all sorts of different genres. But the big emphasis is on focusing on the process of observation, because the artwork is irrelevant. It's the process of observation that can actually change how you feel about nature. And so green sketching was designed to help people see nature, enjoy nature. I'm not worried about learning about nature, ironically, and also to appreciate it, to sort of embed the process of sketching with gratitude. And I'm whistling through this because I'm conscious of time, but I gave a TED talk last summer, which goes into far more detail about how I made the leap from climate change advisor to artist and sketcher. So you can look at that if you're more interested in the massive career change. But the benefits of sketching are that it blends both the nature connection and nature stewardship and well-being into one simple activity. It's affordable. You only need paper and a pencil. It's accessible. It doesn't matter if you're in an urban environment or in the wilderness. It's immediately available. It requires no special training, and it can be adapted to all sorts of different situations and groups and age, different ages. So for the rest of this talk, I'm just going to whistle through some of the different applications so far. So I've been working with children in schools, and both as an after-school club and sort of going into schools. Been running workshops for the general public that have been very popular. I don't know if Deborah's on the call today, but worked with different organisations, both in terms of working with the environment sector, but also just corporate settings. And you can take a group of people out of the office and get them to really connect with what they're working on all day long, which can be quite powerful. You can take green sketching into conferences and workshops, either by providing nature at the table or having breakout sessions. So you can adapt it to all sorts of different situations. And as we all know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So this year, many of the in-person events have been cancelled, but there are ways to get people green sketching online. So I ran a challenge recently with the Big Draw Festival, which is a large national drawing charity, just engaging and encouraging people to sketch the nature in their life that has given them comfort and solace this year. And I've also provided downloadable resources so that the idea is to get people off the screen, but by giving people tools and activity booklets that they can do, it's sort of empowering them to have a go themselves. And so at the moment, sort of anecdotally, the feedback has just been amazing. It's blown me away. For something that's such a deceptively simple tool, it has quite a powerful impact on people's relationship with nature. I've had children telling me that they now see nature in a new way. They come up telling me things that they've noticed. It's things that they've just taken for granted suddenly sort of take on greater precedent in their life. Older people are now seeing their environment in new ways. And the important thing is this nature connection, this sort of re-engaging with the environment on your doorstep is a pathway to getting people to care, getting people to be more engaged in pro-environmental behaviour. So it's a simple step, but it's the most important first step, because if we're not noticing nature, we're not going to start caring about it and taking appropriate action. So more feedback. So the concept is now spreading. So recently I've been developing a network of green sketching ambassadors. Other people are now running workshops. This is a photo from a recent workshop down in London, in Epsom Forest. The concept is spreading internationally too, mostly online at the moment, but people from all around the world were taking part in my sketching event recently. I don't know why the slides keep jumping, apologies. And there's lots of collaborations going on. So I've done some work recently with Repeat, which is a youth-led organisation advocating a change in attitudes to peatland management. I've worked with the Big Draw charity. This year they've been focusing on climate change. I took part in Innovate East last year, which was an innovation conference led by the water industry down in East Anglia. The University of Derby are interested in looking at green sketching as a pathway to connectedness. So although the research is on hold at the moment because of the pandemic, we've got some exciting academic projects lined up there. And most recently, the Mayor of London's office contacted me to ask me to run a green sketching workshop for their whole organisation. So having spent the bulk of my early career doing formal communication, science communication, I'm now realising that there are ways to reach a completely diverse audience through green sketching, and it's starting a conversation with people who might not otherwise be thinking about their natural environment.
Just a minute, Ali, sorry.
Yeah, nearly done. I think this is
Okay.
And so I've swapped sort of academic journals and reports for a completely different type of communication now, and green sketching has been featured in a range of media recently. And I did a TED Talk last year, which was has been a great platform, and just in the last 6 weeks been offered a book deal. So I've got a book deal with a major publisher now to take green sketching to an even bigger international audience. So it's all very exciting, and it just shows the power of something simple. Sometimes we don't need to engage people with complicated reports and complicated facts, and actually just going back to the sort of crux of it is that we care with our hearts, not our heads. So if we want to engage people in big projects, sometimes it's worth remembering that. If you want any further information, please go to my website. I'm conscious I'm rattling through this, but I hope you will feel inspired to have a little go at doodling yourself and see how it changes your awareness of your own environment. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Ali. Really interesting talk. We have a couple of questions on the chat. I think we've only got time for one, so I'll ask you the first one and then hopefully you can respond to the second one just in the text typing. But the first one says, what steps do you take to get people to overcome their inhibitions about doodling?
There's two things that are really important. One is a huge emphasis on the process of sketching and not the artwork. And so there are a range of different observation exercises that you get that are just emphasizing seeing rather than the output. The other simple thing is I don't ask anybody to show me their drawings. So during a workshop, it removes an enormous amount of fear just to say you don't have to share it with anybody. It's entirely for you. And to sort of make the analogy that it's a bit like scribbling a message on a post-it note. It's not a beautiful piece of calligraphy, it's a way of recording information. And when people understand that, it sort of relieves the pressure a little bit, because I understand it. I feel uncomfortable sharing my own artwork today, so yeah.
Great, thank you, Ali. I think in the interest